Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 3 of season 2 of The Flash called Family of Rogues. And in general, I thought this episode it definitely had some highlights. Here we kind of get to see the more human side of the Snart siblings. And it's all well and good, but it's very clearly setting up Captain Cold as one of the protagonists in Legends of Tomorrow, which is going to be rolling around in January. And that's all. Again, that's fine. It's just it seems a little heavy-handed that not wanting his sister to die. Okay, we can certainly see that's bit of good in Captain Cold. On the other hand, he also killed his father right in front of Barry, and we know that he's killed people in the past. So it doesn't change the fact that Leonard Snart is a multiple murderer, and I'm pretty sure that Lisa Snart is, at the very least, remember, she's gold gunned a guy, also quite possibly guilty of murder as well. So, there is that sort of uneasy truce, I guess you could maybe call it, or at least understanding between Team Flash and the Snarts, which is seems to be more or less back in play. With Captain Cold in jail, I guess that whole Barry gets rid of all evidence of his existence from law enforcement didn't amount to a whole hell of a lot. So yeah, but seriously, why not throw Lisa in jail as well? I guess that sort of would have been. I guess it was implied in the deal that, oh yeah, part of this is consistent on not throwing my. Whatever, okay? We just have to let that go. But it certainly was interesting seeing Barry and Snart have to work together for their own reasons. And it was definitely cool to see Barry take a stab at undercover work. That was oddly hilarious. Of course, I'm not the first person to point that out. There was definitely some issues during the robbery, like why in the world did that keypad not lock Barry out after a couple of attempts? The way something like that would, and more than a few websites I know. I have to be careful if it involves personal information, otherwise I might get locked out. And never mind the fact that, well, this is one of those things that bugs me about the Flash in the comics too. When he does something on a computer at super speed, well, the Flash can move at super speed, but the computer can't process at super speed in order to keep up with him. For God's sakes, I have enough time trying to use an old iPad, like an iPad 2, and sometimes that thing is irritatingly slow, and that's just like a couple of seconds. So yeah, and also never mind the fact that I'm pretty sure you can't freeze lasers. But that was all just sort of. That was kind of meant to be the fun romp of it all, to kind of get away from sort of the heavier issues. But before we get on to that stuff, let's talk about Michael Ironside as the Snart family patriarch. And of course, Michael Ironside, veteran actor, an amazing resume. No stranger to working with the folks at DC Comics. He played Sam Lane on 3 episodes of Smallville. Barry, just sort of off the cuff, taking the name Sam, probably a nod to that. Of course, Smallville is also where we got to see Peyton List as Lucy Lane. But going back to Michael Ironside, his probably best known situation involving DC Comics was him doing the voice of Darkseid on a lot of the animated DC work from years ago. Like, for example, Superman, the animated series. So seriously, because of all of that, whenever I read the comic books now, and I'm reading something with Darkseid in it, I hear Michael Ironside's voice as that of Darkseid. I mean, I swear, if they ever do live action Darkseid in that Justice League movie, I want them to get Michael Ironside to reprise that role. He was just amazing as Darkseid. Not to take away anything away from folks like Tony Todd, who has also done the voice of Darkseid over in Lego Batman or whatever, Lego Justice League, whatever. But yeah, Michael Ironside to me is the definitive Darkseid. So there is that. Since we brought Peyton List up, I suppose we need to talk about her and Cisco. And I think she actually did the better job of selling one of the Snarts as an actual human being than. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Wentworth Miller here. I think this was really more an issue of the writing. I think they're willing to let Lisa Snart sort of show those human sides a little bit more than they are with Captain Cold, just because, well, he seems to be a little bit more than a little more hardcore than she is, and that's fine. I think they kind of want to keep doing what they have been doing with Wentworth Miller and Captain Cold. I don't. Not that I think the Golden Glider is any less ruthless. I just think that she doesn't play her cards quite as close to the vest as her brother does. It does seem that her interactions with Cisco, particularly, are genuine. Of course, she's a Snart, so you have to wonder, is she just not setting Cisco up to burn him later, like has happened before? But while I certainly wouldn't put it past her, here I think she is genuine in that she does appreciate that he does, despite their history, have some feelings for her. He shows genuine concern and alarm at the possibility that she might be hurt. And at the end of the day, Cisco is a pretty good guy. And for people who've had a tough life, finding somebody who honestly is and genuinely cares about them, that's a real find. Heck, that's a real find for folks who've had pretty good lives. So whether or not this is going to go anywhere, question mark. With whether or not Lisa Snart murders anyone else in the future being kind of a big issue there. On the upside, Team Flash did manage to get through this episode without killing a villain. This time the villain got killed by the bad guys. The bad guy, I should say. So, yes, another bad guy is dead. And this time there's an actual emotional reaction from people about this. I mean, I know I've complained about this in my previous videos, but seriously, why is no one on Team Flash upset that they are responsible for the deaths of 2 people? Yes, they were villains, but they were human beings. And villains being treated like human beings and not deserving to die, kind of a big issue last season in the last big Captain Cold episode. So yeah, right now I wish that was a screwdriver rather than orange juice and carrot juice. Ugh, man, carrot juice. Not so great by itself, but mixing some OJ, good stuff. Alrighty then. So let's see, what else? Oh yeah, this episode takes a moment to remind us that Linda Park actually exists. Yay. This episode, we also get to see some cool stuff going on with Iris's mom popping back in the picture, and we find out that, yeah, Joe's been lying for a long, long time, and that her mom was this irresponsible drug addict. And I gotta say, folks, one of the strengths of The Flash is that for all its goofiness, it has an amazing cast. And when they decide to bring the tears, you're getting a knife in your damn heart whether you like it or not. And oh my god, I watched Jesse L. Martin for years and years on Law and Order. And what we got with him confessing the truth to Iris this episode, I swear to you, this is, I think, the best performance I have ever seen from him. And he got some good stuff on Law and Order. But here, I'm just like, oh, dude, you're killing me. You're killing me. And of course, that was also a great scene for Candice Patton. She got a really nice bit at the beginning with her, going out there in full-on intrepid reporter mode, which was certainly cool. Little bit cliche. The hero has to bail out his reporter girlfriend, but comics have their traditions. And in case anybody asks about it, that is indeed a Gryffindor Quidditch cloak you can see there in my closet. The Halloween party at my job is next week, so pulled it out of storage and I'm letting it air out. I actually picked that up at a cosplay store in Japan, Fukuoka, years and years ago. I haven't had the chance to use that in a long time, so I'm super excited about it. Anywho, let's get back onto this episode. Lost my train of thought, rambling about Harry Potter. Okay then, so Jay Garrick, we also kind of get them to see. Let's try that again. So Jay Garrick, they do manage to build the speed cannon, which I think is hilarious and ridiculous. And he's like, oh well, I guess I better go back to my world and kind of get back to my job and sort of start adjusting to being just a normal dude again. And then Caitlin comes in and she's just this barely concealed, please don't leave, you're hot kind of situation. Now, I mean, there's more to it than that. Obviously, they've sussed out that Jay is a good guy, and that indeed, as Barry points out, having him around to, sort of act as an advisor while they figure out how to take down Zoom, pretty good idea. But, Caitlin, she's so trying to hide the fact that she's attracted to this guy, and it makes for some hilarity. We also get to see a little bit more of Martin Stein sort of acting as team dad here. Slightly cantankerous dad, but still at the end of the day a cool guy. Martin Stein is sort of like that teacher who is just like, okay, let's go over it again one more time until just so that you get it. The teacher that shows their frustration with you, but at the end of the day is really happy with the student who, like, yes, you got it, good, wonderful. So that's kind of how I read him. But of course, here he's suddenly, bursting into blue flames, which is all just to sort of set up the whole situation with finding a new person to have him be part of the Firestorm Matrix with him. Now, let's just say, given what I know from what's been officially announced, what's coming down the road, this makes me really wish they hadn't spent Jason Rush as a character last season. But, it is what it is. And we'll see if things play out exactly as it seems like they're going to. And, oh yeah, Tom Cavanaugh popped up at the end of the episode. Earth 2 Harrison Wells coming in to Earth 1, and oh god, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Barry's reaction to this. This is just such pure, like, drop a brick out your ass moment. It's just like, oh, this is going to be so terrible on so many levels. And that's just because he looks like a guy who was bad. What his actual character is going to be like, wait and see. And of course, it'll be very interesting to see what Jay Garrick has to say about somebody else from Earth 2 who isn't an enemy of his. So, oh yeah, and of course there's, hey, why did Harrison Wells come to Earth 1? Don't know. But in any case, I think that covers everything that I had to say about this episode. So guys, as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. Until next time, take care and have a good one.